welcome to the British Football Comic Podcast, the podcast which looks back at those football comics, football strips, and characters we loved from back then and still love today. We are the number one football comic podcast. I'm your host, Matt Mute Button Richards, and it's a smaller team here tonight. There's a couple of absentees. First of all, Goal, the podfather, can't make it. He's got a bit of a sore throat. So and obviously that doesn't help with his singing or his impressions. And I don't know, maybe that's to do with the second-hand smoke from Dot's Fags. Who knows? We don't want to go into that, but Goal will be back soon, hopefully in the next show. There's no bygone Berrigan, Brinsden. There's no truth in the rumour he's spotted driving a Kit Kat lorry through the Channel Tunnel on the way to the northwest.
Yeah,
So hopefully
excellent.
he'll get that back without any trouble.
I reckon they're all scoffing Easter eggs.
Yeah, exactly. But you can hear they're both here in the studio. They're both here in the studio at Champ Towers. We do have, first of all, well, Goal's not here, and obviously he's our master of impersonations and impressions of dead people anyway. But we have somebody who can do live impersonations. Well, as long as the people are Welsh. No, yeah, we have the golden time traveller himself, Ian Golden. Hi, Ian.
Hi, and thanks very much for that brilliant welcome. And I must say that if Bruce Grobbelaar is now in the building, so I think he could be here and causing a bit of trouble, stopping a few shots and maybe taking a bit of cash to do that. So thanks very much. I'm looking forward to the show.
Welsh and Zimbabwean. Is there no end to your talent? Maybe we'll find out one day. Anyway, you're very welcome, Ian. Good to see you. And you can hear him chuckling in the background. Yes, whilst doing his commentaries, his voice goes higher than Diego Maradona at the 1994 World Cup. It's the one and only, the tangential one, Paul Tangent Richardson. Hi, Paul.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, good to be here. Although I am now worried if there's any libels. That's the one thing. At least Podfather's impressions of dead people, they're not suing us.
Well, if Diego Maradona wants to sue me,
I enjoy.
He said he wasn't
no,
high.
I wasn't thinking of Maradona. I was thinking more of the Bruce Grobbelaar and maybe wanting a fee for his appearance. Quote. But I loved it. Just a little bit nervous.
Maybe we can cut that bit out. Maybe saying that this is all going to remain in, isn't it? Nothing gets
cut out. Nothing gets cut out. Anyway, you're both welcome, gents. So let's go through the running order for tonight's show. So first up, as per tradition, we're going to have the social media feedback. So Melvin's musings. So I'll do that one. Then next up, Ian. It's yourself, time traveller. What do you have for us this week?
All I'll say at the moment is I have great news for all readers. And so I'm looking forward to presenting probably a slightly shorter section than normal, but one I think all fans of Roy of The Rovers will be very excited about.
Oh, and what accent are you going to do that in?
I think I'll just talk as me for that one.
Okay.
I want it to actually come out to people to take it seriously.
Okay.
Probably. Maybe.
Maybe. Excellent stuff. I was looking forward to that. Yep. Then next up, we're going to have some news of special event. We mentioned this a few shows ago, the special event which we're organising with Ed Taylor. I'll come to that later on. Then next up, we have the tangential one. Oh, tangential, please tell us what you're doing for us this week.
Yes, well, it's the continuation of the We Are United story. Still think that'd be a great name for a podcast. From the comic Champ Spike, and we're up to edition number 22.
Edition 22.
Yes.
Only another 65 to go up.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. And then finally, we're going to have another continuation of the Blackie Grey story. Yes, we're into the 70s now. Let's hope that Blackie Grey isn't getting attacked by a horse or
falling into the falling in love.
Yeah. Let's see what he's up to. But I mean, just to tease you, it's a summer adventure, so anything can happen.
Oh wow! Wow!
The summer of '74. So that's the last on the running order. So, and then we'll do a bit of a quick wrap up and look forward to future shows. But that's it. Right. So without further ado, I'm going to crack on with the social media feedback. And first up, we have feedback on the Roy of The Rovers Comic 40 Years On Facebook group. And we have the Melster himself, Trevor Melvin. And thanks a lot, Trevor, because Trevor, just to let you know that we are recording this on a Wednesday, which is unusual for us. It's usually on a weekend. So we did give Trevor a bit of a tight deadline, but he, in great David Skews style, he managed to drive it into Champ Towers and delivered it at the door. So thank you very much, Trevor. Here we go. Ooh, I say, we're a long way from Melchester. This week's Muse Bulletin is brought to you exclusively from the Isle of Sicily. Sicily.
Wow.
Melvin's Musings has undertaken a high-risk British football comic podcast mission, a bit like a Blue Peter special assignment, but more dangerous, for an upcoming Red Button musing entitled In Search of Paolo Certi. Paolo Certi is, of course, the ruthless Italian mobster that attempted to blackmail England's Brummington City striker Rodney Powell, and is said to be responsible for leading our own bygone Berrigan astray. Watch this space to see if it becomes a long Good Friday and whether this muser ends up sleeping with the fishes. And of course, where did that Kit Kat lorry disappear? Italy.
Oh, you were blaming Bygone earlier.
Well,
Maybe
it could be a combined effort.
I was going to say, but was it Bygone or was it his alter ego, Gangster Certi?
We will find out. Well, hopefully the muser can tell us next time. So keep them peeled.
Interesting.
There's one for kids there. Keep them peeled. Shaw Taylor.
Yeah, for Shaw Taylor. I nearly said Robert Shaw then.
Well, it's lucky you didn't, because that would be stupid on the podcast, wouldn't it? If I didn't edit that out.
No, of course. Yeah.
Anyway, the music continues. Anyway, here are the Muse headlines. The Muse headlines. I can't believe he's only first used them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, very good. Thanks, time traveler. Bygone Berrigan attempts to keep his spiraling chocky bicky addiction under control with a delicious Tiger Sports Library feature. The tangential ones, 1980 Riverton United versus Manchester City Cup final commentary, which is the feverishly high pitch and leaves acousticians baffled. Just how much higher can Tangent's remarkable vocal range tangentially go?
Yeah, I don't honestly. I did listen back and I shocked myself, to be quite honest. I was like, is that really me?
Well, it's got to go higher. I'm sorry, it's a bit like Bruce Forsyth.
I can't believe I went. Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see, right?
Golden Ian's cover version of the Riverton FA Cup final record is rumoured to have drawn criticism from United's Clive Late Night Lyle, although the Welsh Time Lord's impressive Neil Kinnock impersonation receives a vote of confidence.
Oh, thank you very much.
Cheers, Neil. No horsing around. Mute Button Matt's Blackie Grey story, part 3, packs a real kick and is good enough to win the European Cup and the Grand National. Late drama as comic book bad boy Bygone Berrigan reignites feud with Roy Race and also threatens Bunty review. Go Lazzo, lads. Oh, and a late muse, of course, there's always a late muse. Monty P. Knowles of Sci-Fi Sound Reproduction has invited the pod's Welsh Time Lord to London to discuss a potential recording contract. So, Time Lord, do you know anything about that?
No, first I've known about it, so it's great to hear, and I look forward to getting the letter in the post. That does happen, doesn't it? So is it emails these days?
It could be. Well, we're talking about the 70s and 80s. Let's pretend it still is a post.
Exactly. Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Thank you very much, the Melster. Moving on to the Champion United Facebook site, we have a comment here from Martin Baines, who says, very interesting podcast about Tiger Picture Library. From a book, The Fleetway Picture Library Index, Volume 2, published by Book Palace, it mentioned that issue 444 of Thriller Picture Library, there is a story called Penalty of Fear. It states that this story was meant for the Tiger Picture Library, but they renamed the team to Barford City. That's interesting, isn't it? Not Barford City. Thriller Picture Library ended issue 450, and there was no more issues starring that team. A lot of the issues were later reprinted in Buster and Lion Picture Libraries in the 60s, so it might be worth checking them out. So brilliant stuff. That's really interesting. I mean, it's great when Neil did that last time. And he said that they appeared in the Jag. There's a Jag
that's right.
football special, didn't
Jag,
he?
he said, didn't he?
Okay.
Yeah,
One of the stories. So if any other listeners or viewers, know where these stories pop up later on in the 60s or 70s, then please let us know. Adrian Lord, praise be the House of Lord. Here we go. Great podcast as always, guys. Disappointed by Neil not doing a voice for the bad guy in the Victor comic or the Vandals. I'd never heard of the Tiger Picture Libraries. Great story though. It's like listening to a play for today on Radio 4. So this as I said, went back to, that's the cultural level we're aiming for on this show all the time. It's Radio 4. I mean, somebody could easily tune into us by mistake and just think they're listening to Radio 4. Kenny Rogers was Ruby, Don't Bring Your Love to Town.
Yeah, he said that. I must admit. And he was a bit upset that I didn't know
He
that.
was shocked you didn't know that.
I can only apologise to the.
He obviously thinks you're an obvious Kenny Rogers fan.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
When it comes to
the Gambler and the Gambler movies, I am a bit of a Kenny Rogers fan. So, in all honesty, but I'm not familiar with that one. I've got to look it up, and all I can do is I apologise to the House of Lord.
Okay, I've tempted to maybe get you and Ian to do a Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, Islands in the Stream, but
the only problem is I know I'm doing Dolly Parton. Yeah.
yeah. I only remember him for Coward of the County. I'm sure that was Kenny Rogers.
I think it was. I think it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's moving off of the Kenny Rogers podcast back to the. He said I had a different tune in my head for the United Song in Champ, but Ian's was brilliant. Sounds better than mine or Paul's.
It was definitely better than mine. No arguments there.
He said, I bet Gull is gutted. He isn't on tonight after all that singing. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you very much, Adrian. Thanks for your comments and feedback and praise as ever. Thank you. And then on YouTube, Lee Coulson, Aussie Lee. He goes, on a weekend when I'm thankfully spared the torture of Tottenham playing again. It's just, can we just have a minute silence for Tottenham Hotspur, please? What a season they're having.
Wow.
It was a relief and pleasure to turn back the clock to comic books past and better times. Tottenford instead, and Tiger and Blackie Grey and FA Cup final songs when Aussie went to Wembley and won. I made it a British football comics podcast back-to-back bonanza, listening to episodes 126 and 127 in a row.
Ooh.
Wow. That's almost like some sort of charity dare.
Exactly.
A lot of time on your hands, that's all I can say.
How much did you raise for comic relief? That's what we want to know.
Finally. Football comic relief. Football comic relief?
Yeah, football comics. Yeah, British football comic relief. Yeah. They praised Eddie Izzard and his however many marathons he did, but that's nothing compared to what
you try and listen to two shows back to back.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do that. He said, to try and cheer him up, and as usual, the team didn't disappoint. I enjoyed all the different segments across 2 episodes. Ian's recaps of the 1983-84 Roy of The Rovers strips, Matt continuing the Blackie Grey 60s saga, Tangent's breathless recounting of the latest We Are United storyline, Bygone dipping into something different with the Tiger Sports Library, and Gull doing what he does best. Shit impression. Oh no, it doesn't say shit impressions. Marshalling everything with impersonations and theme songs.
I can't believe you dropped the S bomb there, like Craig Bellamy. Like Craig Bellamy did.
Oh, Craig Bellamy did, didn't he?
Craig Bellamy did in the press conference after the.
What's good enough for Craig Bellamy's good enough.
Exactly, it's good enough for this pod.
After the Northern Ireland, not after the Bosnia game, but after the Northern Ireland game.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, again, moving away from sad Tottenham stories to sad Welsh stories. It's back to this. Gold doing what he does best, marshalling everything with his impersonations and theme songs. Count me among his half-dozen followers every show. Yeah, Gold's got hundreds and hundreds of fans. Anyway, thanks for cheering up a disconsolate Spurs fan and reminding me of better days. May it come again. Cheers all. And that's it. Brilliant. That's the social media feedback. That's the Melvin's Musings. Thank you very much, Aussie Lee. And thanks to everybody for your feedback. Excellent stuff. Okay, right, moving down the running order, we have the time traveler himself, Ian Golden. Okay, Ian, do you want to Tell
Yeah,
us what you're
thanks
doing.
very
Oh,
much. Yes.
mm.
I am going to start sharing a slideshow, just a short one for the people who are watching on YouTube, but I explain a lot more as well. I have great news for all readers. As I said at the start of the show, I am well in the middle of writing a book.
Yay.
In fact,
Ooh,
I
wee.
am 14 chapters and over 80,000 words
Ooh.
into writing a new book, which I'm hoping to publish in September, which will be published exclusively on Amazon. Amazon do a great service. They did my last book about Heartbreak High. It's one of these printers you buy. It's quite clever. You buy a book and it takes 2 days, 2 to 3 days to get there because they just press a button. They print it out in their local factory and they send it to you. It's
Wow.
Wow.
absolutely amazing. But first of all, of course, I've got to complete it. And this is what
Sorry,
There
Ian.
is that. They don't
I've
do it
never
for
written
you.
a book in my life, but even as complete novice, I would say that's quite key to the whole success of this venture.
absolutely, yeah, it's got to be done. It's got to be done. But basically, this if this works, which it's not working, is what it yes now is what it's going to be, and this is the proposed cover. It's for those who can't see, I'm going to just describe it. It's called
Wow.
ROTR at 50, the unofficial critical guide to Roy the Rovers comic. Basically,
Brilliant.
I'm going to base it on some of the writings that I've been doing on the Roy the Rovers at 40 Facebook page, where I've been reviewing the Roy the Rovers comic season by season. It won't be exactly like it, believe me. It will be heavily edited and proofed and changed round, and maybe some boring bits cut out and some other bits put in,
Whoa,
and
whoa,
all
whoa,
that.
whoa, whoa, Ian, I won't have that. Boring bits. Where were the boring bits?
Well, thank you. At least I know they don't need to be cut out. So thank you very much for yes. It's going to be a bit of a family venture. My son has drawn a brand new kind of pick I won't say picture of Roy, but picture based on Roy because he
Hmm,
doesn't know Roy the Rovers. I gave him a few things to work on, and for those who are watching
it's very
YouTube at
good.
the moment, they
Yeah.
can see what this 13-year-old has done. As you can see, I think he's going to be an amazing artist
Yeah.
because that was just hand drawn and copied in. So basically, this is going to be about Roy the Rovers comic from 1976 to 1993. I'm going to critically analyze every strip season by season with obligatory marks out of 10 to
Okay.
celebrate the 50th anniversary of the comic. I'll look at the history from start to finish, every strip reviewed, no holds barred. Um, so I'll tell you a bit more about what's going to be in it. As I say, there's going to be 17 chapters reviewing one season at a time. There will be a full edition guide, and Tangent, this is really thanks to you and your website. You've been amazing with this, the dates and the issue numbers. So
Oh,
I've been using your website for a lot of research here and matching things up and making sure things are correct. And I think at one point even working
Correct.
out an
Yeah.
error in your website,
No,
which
you did
was
indeed, and I'm very grateful for that. Yep.
which is it happens, things slip in, so it's great we can
Yep.
cross-reference each other. There'll be a full guide to Sign Please, which ran in the first half of the comics run for people who remember that. There'll be a full guide to Roy's Star Teams, which ran for about 4 or 5 years. There will be club guides and more because there was a club guides in Roy of the Rovers at one point where they did focus on various teams every week, that kind of thing. So I'm going to index them, which team is in which issue, that kind of thing, so people can, if they want to know, they can cross-reference. Same as Sign Please, it'll be useful for people
hmm.
because if they want to find, oh, I wonder which Sign Please Kenny Dalglish was in, right, I'll turn to the back of the book and maybe I
Yeah.
can buy that back number. So there'll be a story guide index, how many issues each story appeared in, and that takes a bit of working out because some were missing at times, especially things like Goalkeeper Safe His
Yeah.
Hands, Tommy's Troubles, They Some Mike's Mini Men, sometimes missed an issue here and there because the artist was ill, excuse me, and couldn't get his artwork in time. I'm
Thanks,
writing.
good. Oh, sorry. That's just sneezed.
Oh, that's okay. No problems. That's all right. Um, I'm writing a few articles as well in there. How many goals did Roy score is
Ooh.
one article that I've
Ooh.
written. and I'm based it on 2 or 3 press releases that have come out over the years. One that was never put online at all, or
Interesting.
even, I don't think even put in a newspaper. It was actually given to the media at the launch of Roy of the Rovers, the playing years,
Mhm.
of which I was lucky enough to attend. So I still have that press release, and it actually outlines how many goals Roy scored. But there was some error. I think they put down too few international goals. So I've taken that from another source, combined the two together, and come up with something, because the other source had too few goals completely. And that source has been put online. And that was based on something written in the comic around 91, 92, where Roy was seen breaking a goal scoring record of oh, I can't remember, who is he now? The Jimmy Greaves parody. His name's escaped me. Chippy Croker.
Chippy
Chippy Croker.
Croker, yeah,
They
yeah.
broke Chippy Croker's goal record. It's a
Funny
silly,
old game.
it's
Yeah.
a silly old sport.
Yeah. Funny old
Um,
sport, in
yeah, that's right.
it.
So I'm going to be doing some there's an article about that in there. So I think
Excellent.
people will enjoy that. And eventually in the years to come, I'll put that on the podcast. There's an article called The Stewart Dynasty, which is all about Rick and Gordon Stewart and how the timeline actually fits in. Was it the 60s? Was it the 70s? Am I going to get rid of this cough? It's though that kind of thing anyway. So I'm going to outline exactly what I think each year goalkeeper in the safest hands in soccer takes place, where the anomalies are, how they're overcome, all that kind of thing. There is going to be a location guide to the top league, which Division One basically at the time, to the Division One Melchesterverse sides. And yes, I'm inventing that word, Melchesterverse. So yeah, the Division One Melchesterverse sides, where are they in England and Wales? I won't bother with the Scottish sides. Maybe I will bother with the Scottish side. I don't know. I'll look at Hotshot Hamish and see where Aberdown actually is and all that kind of thing. So
Just
yeah.
down of Aberdeen.
Yeah, and of course, Glenrah Celtic was featured in Roy of the Rovers strip.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go to Scotland. I don't know. I'll work that one out. But yes, there's a location guide at least right now, anyway, to the English top division sides. And I can now announce, although I have, this is subject to me receiving them or doing the interviews, there will be an exclusive introduction by Barry Tomlinson,
Wow.
former editor of Roy the Rovers himself. He has agreed to do it. That's only happened this week, so I'm not
Oh,
saying get
brilliant.
it now, please, Barry. He's only agreed it, like a few weeks before we recorded the pod. So if it all works out, that will be in. But if it doesn't come in, it's no issues at all, but
Yeah.
he has agreed. Same as Barry Mitchell has the former artist who did Roy the Rovers in its last year or so in the comic, and he also did, I believe, Playmaker in its first couple of years
Correct. Yeah.
before it switched artists to someone in Spain or Argentina, probably. And yeah, so he's agreed to do that, and there'll probably be a few more things besides if I think about them. So, but that is what I'm going to be doing. And like I say, I have finished the first 14 chapters, all subject to editing and proofing. I've finished a lot of the appendices as well. Some of which I'm adding to as I go along. I've really been enjoying doing it. So yeah, this is it. It's going to be ROTR at 50, the unofficial critical guide to Roy the Rovers comic. It will be out hopefully in September. I don't see any reason why not. I don't have a price yet because I'm waiting to see how many pages it is, how it goes on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be roughly between 15 and 20 pounds, I would say. So expect something like that. And yeah, for those who are also watching on YouTube, you can see what I have at the moment as page 74 and 75. Again, numbers are subject to change, of which this is season 7 transferred, where we see FA Cup winners Kings Bay, and people can read a bit of my intro on YouTube right now if they want to pause it, and they can see how I'm going to introduce each chapter, basically, outlining what happens this season in Roy the Rovers comic and from 1990 stroke magazine. But there we go, guys. I think that's all I can really say about it now.
Wow.
I'll carry on writing day by day, pretty much, about 4 to 5 days a week. I'll just jot things down and put it in. Uh, I'm no longer going to be posting on the Facebook site in earnest because that is taking me too long. I've got a load of things on right now, so I'm going to concentrate on doing this. I'm going to might post a few excerpts here and there for each chapter, and maybe the odd photo and a bit of a debate, that kind of thing, so people can get involved. Because I do intend putting a few fan views, which they've posted on Facebook. A few fan comments will be inside this book as well.
Oh,
Oh
excellent.
wow, that's brilliant. I mean, Ian, I mean, I've known obviously you've been planning this for a while. You know, seen your fantastic reviews on the Facebook site, and obviously we've heard and viewed your fantastic reviews on the
Yes.
podcast, you know, for weeks and months now. So yeah, I mean, this is fantastic, and the amount of research you're doing is absolutely the right format to put it into a book, really, to kind of really kind of give it the kind of gravitas it really kind of deserves. So fair play to you, mate, you know, for doing this. And, you know, I can't wait to get my copy. And obviously we'll advertise it on here, of course, when it's launched. And
Yeah.
good luck to you, mate. It's fantastic.
No, thanks very much. I really appreciate that. And like I said, looking forward to getting it published. For those who don't know me too much, I have written before. I have done, this will be my third published book, although I did do kind of a compilation of some of my magazine work, which I put out for charity at one point. I've been writing for magazines and newspapers for years, mainly rugby league. But, you know, I've done a lot of football reporting from the grounds as well, but that's mainly radio. Although I did do a piece for the football paper, for the Football League paper at one point. I did Cardiff against QPR in the FA Cup, would you
Oh,
believe?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which it seems just a strange random one shot I had at the Football League paper, but it was because the regular guy, Steve Tucker, a former reporter at Cardiff City, now sadly the late Steve Tucker from a few years ago. He died quite young, unfortunately. I miss him a lot. But he used to write for the local papers, the South Wales Echo, Western Mail, etc. And I don't think this story has ever come out publicly, so I'm going to tell it now because no one can criticize him because he's sadly no longer with us. But he used to write on the sly for the Football League paper while doing the South Wales Echo and Western Mail. He used to write it under an assumed name. And he said to me, Cardiff against QPR, we're playing against their Premier League side. The Western Mail have asked me to do so many more things. So he said, can you do it? Are you going in? Are you in for the radio? Yeah, yeah, I could do it. So Football League paper contacted me, and there we did. I did Cardiff against QPR.
fantastic. So
Excellent.
yeah, so you did that, and yeah, it's your team obviously as well. So
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we look forward to the book coming out, and I'm sure we're going to hear more about it in the weeks and months to come as well. So thanks so much for sharing it, the
No, no
details
problem. No problem.
to,
This is the official
tonight.
launch, and maybe a day or so after this goes online on the after the day or so after this podcast goes online, I will put it in the groups as well.
Brilliant stuff.
Cool.
Great. Excellent. So look out for that, guys. Okay, right. Moving through the running order, we have another announcement. Guys, it's
Mm.
all about announcements, isn't it?
Right, I was going to say, what on earth's
Goodness
going
me.
on?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't know.
Not another rename.
Yeah, yeah. Whoops. Yeah. No one told bygone and go.
Yeah.
Um,
Told
yeah,
you
no,
to wait for when they were off.
yeah, I know. So on the screen, this is something which we mentioned a few weeks ago. Um, a few of us, including Ed Taylor, who created the Facebook site 40 years on Roy of The Rovers site, we got together and we organised an event to mark the 50 years since the launch of the Roy of The Rovers comic. It was actually first published on the 20th of September, but it was dated the 25th of September. And there's the details of the event are actually on the screen now. It's going to be on Saturday, the 26th of September, from 2 to 5 p.m. And it's going to be at the Mill Road Community Centre in Cambridge. It's in Cambridge because Barry Tomlinson, he lives nearby to Cambridge now. He's in a home there. He's moved into a retirement place in Saffron Walden, so it's easy for him to get to.
Mhm.
Barry Tomlinson is the kind of special guest. He's the key guest on the day, so he'll be there. It'll be a talk event, and he'll be interviewed. by myself and probably some others. And David Skew's going to be there as well. So not only do we have Barry Tomlinson, but we're also going to have David Skew. We're letting him out the cupboard just for one day only. And so he's going to join us with that Q&A event as well. And then there's going to be opportunities. We're going to, maybe Roy might turn up. Who knows? Barry's going to have a word with Roy and see what we can do.
Oh, wow.
David's potentially going to be doing a special design as well, flyer, which can be signed.
Wow.
For the actual event as well. So details, so they're the details that are on the screen, but tickets are going to be on sale hopefully next week. So we're limited, obviously, capacity of the venue there. But yeah, details will be coming out on social media. So be coming out on the Facebook sites, be going out via X, via YouTube, all the usual sites which you usually go through. Get your tickets as soon as possible because this will probably sell out really quick, but it's going to be a really, really special event.
That's amazing.
And we can't wait to do it.
Good. You could have a book signed there as well, couldn't you? You could buy a book on Amazon. You can get
funny, you should say that. Well, let's talk commission afterwards.
Yeah, of course.
in true David Skew style. But no, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, are you going to be able to get there, Ian? Do you think you'll be able to get there?
I'm really hoping so. I know I have a commitment that weekend, but it's Saturday and Sunday. But I'm going to see if I can arrive on Sunday. It would be about between 8 and 9 o'clock. I'll have to arrive at that place on Sunday. But I'm really, really hoping so. Yes.
Well, we'll if not, then obviously we can take some books down there and
of course
sell some on the day and all that kind of thing. But yeah. That's it, guys. Just making you aware of that, but say there'll be more details coming out via social media soon. Tangent, have you got anything to add?
No, only obviously I'm really excited and it'd be interesting to see how many people are interested in getting along. I think it'll be a good event, but of course, it's location for a lot of people. But I think for those of you who can make it, I hope you won't be disappointed. Can't believe that just our little pod is managing to put an event like this on.
It really is amazing.
I just after it's more than a few years, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's a credit to you guys. I mean, I'm new on the pod, pretty much, but it's a credit to you guys that have been doing it for years, that you now are able to organize an event. I've been loosely involved in certain events over the years to do with Doctor Who many years ago, and so I know what a task it is to put these on. But it sounds like that you've got two fantastic guests there, and I wouldn't be surprised if that sells out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. I mean, capacity it's about 100,000. I'm not quite sure. It's I mean, it's going to be a bit like Oasis, basically. So dynamic pricing could come in.
We'd like to thank the McAlpines for moving Wembley just for that weekend from Wembley to Cambridge.
Yeah.
And it's got the word mill in the title as well.
Yeah,
for the British Comic Podcast, having mill in the title of where we're going to host it. Wow.
What, you mean Millwall? Oh no, you mean the mill. Yeah, of course. Sorry, of course. Sorry, that was just me being stupid. Yeah. Okay, so that's it, guys. So look out for that event very soon, and obviously we'll continue to plug it as much as we can over the coming weeks and months. So moving down the running order, we've actually got some comics. We've got some comics on tonight's show. It's not just all about announcements. So tangential one, I'll hand over to you and I'll share my screen.
Yeah. So as we said in the running order, it's Champ Spike edition number 22, and it's the 21st of July 1984. And on the cover, it's got battered, bruised and bumped United's new boy. You'll be amazed when you learn who it is inside. Wow. And of course, as we turn over, we always get that top panel, and it's I tell you what, it's just a copy and paste for me every time. The season is still over a month away. I think it said that in the last 3 editions now.
This season going to start.
Yeah, exactly. And funnily enough, Joe Pearson is once more putting the players, and I do love this, through a training session. And we're informed on this training session, though, along for a trial is young Ewan Calder. And we see the action, and we see one of the United players, over here, kid. And then the kid, Ewan, no chance. And Ewan, he moves forward with the ball. And I tell you what, though, he's drifted past Tug Wilson there and he's put in a decent shot. But, Charlie Ironbar, he pushes that over the crossbar. And in Ewan's thought bubble there, Barr was lucky there. Wow, I tell you what, he's certainly a confident young lad, but judging by that, maybe the way he went past Wilson, he should be. But the action soon moves on, and we've got the commissioner standing in the players' tunnel, and he's calling over manager Joe Pearson. And of course, it wouldn't be fair to do this. There's a fantastic panel now. He's got 4 young gents, he says to Joe Pearson, and we saw 4 fresh young faces. And I do wonder, are you listening or watching on YouTube these 4 gents today? And they are, and it's hilarious. Joe goes over and they all just say their name: Paul Kane, Philip Cumming, David Jones, and Stuart Scattergood. Well, I really hope, guys, that you are listening, and what an amazing day you had, because then shortly we see Joe, he's introducing the 4 youngsters to the United players, and they're juggling the ball and they're talking to the youngsters, and we can see autographs being signed. And all I can say is, Paul, Philip, David and Stuart, I'm very jealous. I'm not sure if the Podfather will be, but you both, you all got 2 panels.
He was in the comic once, wasn't he?
I'm not sure. We'll see if we ever get. Well, I don't think he's ever mentioned it, but as we know, we will be going through every edition. So if he is, I'm sure it'll get covered. So then, though, the rain comes down, and Joe obviously calls the players back into to go inside. And in the dressing room, young Ewan, I told you this guy is quite confident. Didn't half leave you for dead out there, Tug. You've got to stay sharp to catch me. Tug Wilson. Yeah, sure, Ewan, son. You know, you remind me a lot of a kid that came here about 9 years ago. He'd just signed for the club, and there we go. As we know, in the last couple of editions, suddenly kind of need that smoke screen and everything, or however they do it. Yeah, we're transferred back in time, and now we see another young, fresh person coming through a door. Hey, where's the manager? I thought he would have been here to welcome me. He knew I was coming. And of course, who's this person confronted with? It's none other than Tug Wilson. Is that right, kid? Well, you see, Mr. Bodston suddenly discovered that our red carpet was all frayed. So he's off to buy another one. He'll be really upset at missing your arrival. The young, fresh-faced new boy says, oh, a joke. Very good. Hey. And then he says, hey, I saw the first team out training. Think I could join them? And then we see the youngster and Tug, they're leaving the tunnel, and then we see the players on the pitch and the new arrival. I just hope the boss doesn't keep me in the reserves too long. I mean, I hope he recognises my potential. And Wilson's thought bubble, heck, this kid's got a thicker skid than a hippopotamus. But Tug, I tell you what, I always thought it was Fred Rumi was the Joker, but Tug's really playing the leading role here. Tug gets his arm round young Ewan, and he decides he's going to introduce him to the team. He's like, I'd like you to meet Hippo. Lads, he's going to go far. At least he says so. And Ewan's like, Hippo's not my name, but before Hippo or Ewan, but I'm going to refer to him as Hippo now.
This isn't Ewan, remember. This isn't Ewan. Ewan is the present. This is the past.
So, well done, Ian. You've got apologies.
I was thinking that as well.
Yeah,
no, sorry, you got me
in a moment. It's just the
sorry
young
about
lad.
that, Sergeant.
Well done. No, well done, because it's key to the story.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, the young lad. It just said, Hippo's not my name, but before he can try and tell us his name, we see one of the guys knocks the ball to Tug Wilson. And Tug Wilson, the friendly Tug Wilson, welcome to United. Whack! Just smacks the ball right into his face. I mean, there was I think one of the Premier Leagues, they were talking about there was a close-up, wasn't there, of a shot where the ball right in the player's face, and it's just like that. You can't tell the ball from the face. Like, what I love is the ball rebounds off, and Tug Wilson's like, oh, great header.
Good header, son.
He's a good header, son. And you see the youngster, he's good control, Hippo. And the youngster's, though, now he's on the pitch and he's eager and he's on the pitch and he's passing, he's moving into position.
And then, but the next thing we see is the ball comes over, bang, a massive shoulder barge, and he just puts Hippo onto the floor. But in all fairness to him, Hippo, he can take it, and he's bounced back, and we see him scoring a goal. And a United player, I think it might be Joe Pearson, to Tug Wilson, saying, "I hate to say it, Tug, but Hippo is good." Wilson again, he loves this. He loves this word, cocky little twerp. And then we're informed that in the summer that year, United are away to a sports complex, and we see Hippo. He's in the swimming pool, and the players are sat there on the sun loungers. And Hippo's head above the wall. He says, "I'm a natural athlete. I've got medals in swimming, table tennis, and snooker." And then we see a panel where Hippo's beating Tug Wilson at table tennis, and we see him potting a ball, and we're informed that he won all the tournaments. But then we're informed in the bottom text that the players had let him win. Now this next part, now we see Hippo. He's on the telephone, and he's taken a call from the Daily Planet, and the person from the Daily Planet is telling him, "We want to do a profile on Britain's most promising footballer, and we don't want the usual thick-headed players like Tug Wilson or Clive Lyle. Just to let you know." When the person's saying that, we actually see in the panel that it's Tug Wilson is on the phone. Of course, Hippo's responding, "Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I'm a thinker as well as a natural athlete." We see, of course, Hippo, he's back to the full dining room of the complex. And he's, shouting out about this, and of course we can just see the United players. They're kind of, especially Tug. He's like coughing, and he's got his napkin. He's hiding their smiles. But the Daily Planet are back on the phone to Hippo the next day, and they've got bad news. "I'm afraid we've changed our mind about the profile, Hippo. We're doing an in-depth study of Joe Pearson's brain instead, which means we'll only have room for one blank space." Which I thought was pretty good. And of course, Hippo's like, "What? Hippo? Who is this?" And of course, he's got wise to it, and now he's back into the lounge, and he's got a broom, and he realised, very funny, Wilson. I might have guessed. And Wilson's like, "Oh, save me!" And he see Wilson jumping over a settee.
Brilliant.
The story now moves on, and we're told that Hippo begins the season in the reserves, but he's getting the odd game, and we see him in action for the first team. And he's got the ball, and Clive Lyle's making a really good run off the left there. He's definitely free and open, but in front of Hippo, we can see there's two defenders in front of him. But Hippo's decided he's going to take these defenders on, and of course, the inevitable, he's tackled there quite sort of easily. Really was the wrong decision. And again, we get another one of those moments that I'm always uncomfortable about. But I must admit, as a youngster, I forget this. They're obviously referred to a lot more than I remember. The crowd are shouting out, "Who do you think you are, Kenny Dalglish?"
Yeah.
So another way mixed to real football there again.
Mm.
After the game, manager Ron Buston, he's not happy. He's tearing into Hippo. "A 1-1 draw's not good. No good to us, son. We could have won. We could have had the 2 points if you'd have passed to Clive." Hippo just kind of, head bowed in the dressing room, and he's sorry, boss. And we see Joe Pearson. He's the captain, though. He's consoling Hippo, and he says, "Too bad, Hippo. Don't let it get you down." And here we see the first, I don't know if things are getting to him, but he says, "Thanks, Joe, but don't call me Hippo. I hate that name." So it's interesting that the banter maybe is getting to the youngster a little bit. But we're informed, of course, from that he's dropped and he's out of the team for a few weeks. But now we see the players, they can go around the team sheet, and we're informed that there's been a flu epidemic. So there's quite a few players out, and there's a bit of ribbing, but Hippo's back in the team. And Clive Lyle suggesting that he's got special instructions. And of course, Hippo's like, "Oh, really, really?" And Clive Lyle's, "Yes, you're to spray the opposition with the flu germs." Again, Hippo, very funny, Clive, and I don't think. And we're now on Saturday's game, and we're told United, they're playing league leaders West Hampton. And we see Ron Boston, he's in the dugout, and he's thought bubble. He's a bit concerned. We could struggle today. West Hampton have got their strongest team out, and we're missing Pearson, Kane, and Cook. And I'm still not convinced Hippo's ready for first team football. Then in the next panel, we see that Hippo sort of had the ball, and I love this. He shoulder barged out by the West Ham centre back, the powerful, and listen to this, Fangs Baker. The powerful Fangs Baker. and he's parched the Hippo out, and the action moves on. But we see Hippo, he tries to tackle Fangs Baker, but he doesn't get anywhere near it. But then we see Hippo, in all fairness to him, like in that training session, he gets up and he gives it all he's got. And in the third time lucky, we do see him get the ball off of Fangs and pass into Tug. But then 10 minutes later, the action moves on, and it's West Hampton. They're attacking down the right-hand side, and it's a nice ball inside, and it's a lovely crossover. Oh, what a goal that is! The number 9 for West Hampton. I tell you what, Keith Houchin, he must have read this comic, because that is a diving headed spectacular. Hampton, the chance goes. He has the diving header 1-0. I tell you what, if you're not on YouTube and you're just listening, really try and go through the archives for this. See if you can get the edit of this game. It's a fantastic goal, albeit for Hampton. But now we see Clive Lyle. He's on the ball and he's got Hippo next to him. And Clive Lyle gives Hippo, come on, 1-2 Hippo. And Lyle, he knocks the ball past the West Hampton defender. And of course, he's moved on for the rebound. But once again, Hippo, he can't stop himself. He just thinks, oh, I've got a chance. I've got a chance here. I can take them on. There's a gap. I can go for it. But he can't get through. He's tackled. And the West Hampton, I tell you what, to rub salt into the wound there. The West Hampton, you should have listened to your teammate, son, and passed the ball. And we see Hippo's on the floor. Come on, ref, play the game. That was a foul. Tell you what, though, Clive Lyle's not impressed. Serves you right. The 1-2 was on. I'll tell you one thing. That's the last flaming pass you'll get from me. Well, it's not going too well for this youngster. And it's that moment in the We Are United story. 1-0 down and playing terribly. Surely things can't get any worse. Don't you believe it? Turn to page 23 to find out. So as you can see on the YouTube screen, I'm going to refrain from all those licking of fingers and thumbing through comics. Oh no, I've done it again. As Matt speeds through for the YouTube listeners, and there we are. We're back, and it's We Are United Part 2. And well, we see now, and 40 minutes gone, and Clive Lyle was struggling a bit. Oh, and we see Clive Lyle, he's chesting the ball down, but heck, I'm not fully recovered from this blooming flu. My legs are like jelly. It's quite weird. I mean, we see that they're like he's looks to me like he's chesting it down from a throw-in. But on the next panel, well, just on half-time, the game's moved on. And West Hampton are through again. And I think it's Shenton in goal, but he really hasn't got a chance. It's 2-0 to West Hampton. The league leaders there really stamping their authority on this makeshift United side, shall we say. So it's a dejected half-time. Ron Boston then, what's wrong with you lot? You look like you don't even want to win this game. You haven't even had a shot on goal. And well, so the United players there, well, don't worry, boss, we'll do better in the second half. And come on, there's a long way to go. The game's there, 90 minutes, you know. And really amazing, Hippo. You seem to know everything. I think that the players are getting a bit fed up with Hippo and his enthusiasm. I can see what he's trying to do. But Ron Boston, he's thinking about, I was a bit hard on the lads. We've got half the reserve team on. Clive's on his last legs. Only Hippo showing any enthusiasm and just doesn't know any better. Well, we move into the second half, and I tell you what, Clive Lyle, he's really struggling here. He's not just half a yard slow. I can tell you that. I mean, in this action, really, he's nowhere near there. And the West Hampton team, they're taking advantage and they're passing it through the midfield. Lyle's nowhere near that, and they've taken advantage of that, and they've moved through, and it's a cross coming. Oh, it's 3-0 to Hampton now. A nice header, not as good as that diving header, but it's 3-0. United really are in serious trouble here. We see now that Hippo's desperately tried to rally United. Come on, United, come on, show a bit of bottle. God, bottle. What do you know about bottle, Hippo? One of the United players responding there to Hippo. And now we see, I think it's a corner to West Hampton, but it's a good, all I know is I ain't going to lie down. A fair play to Hippo. He's up there and he's headed clear. And he said, so what about the rest of you putting some effort in? Am I only one trying to win this game? Well, fair play to Hippo. I tell you what, he's giving it his all for the club. And then minutes later, we see Hippo. He's strongly challenged, but he's not having it. Foul, nothing. I never tackled. I never touched him, but the referee's not having any of it. I've got to say, it doesn't. I mean, there's a little bit of contact there, but it didn't look that different to what Fangs Baker did to Hippo earlier on in the game. But the referee's not having it. Call it, youngster. Next foul tackle, and your name goes in the book. Huh, what did I do, ref? I won the ball fair and square, Hippo said. I tell you what, these United players, they do like to give a bit of back chat, even back in the day. And we know Hedgehog loves a bit of that in the modern day team. And now we see, though, but United are on the attack, and Hippo's joined the attack. And he's like, here, Clive, let me have it. Clive Lyle, get knotted, kid.
Get knotted. That's a proper 70s or 80s thing. Get knotted.
It is indeed. But we're told, though, Clive Lyle, he's a United man and he'll do what's best. He's boxed in, so he knows he's got to pass the ball, and he passes it to Hippo. And you just see Hippo again, watch me. But fair play. He's round the West Hampton number 6, and he's gone down the wing, and he's put in a lovely cross. And do you know what? Clive Lyle's getting there. Oh, it's diving header. It's the second one in the game, but this time it's for United.
Yes.
What a goal. United surely not back in this at 3-1. I tell you something. I tell you what, did he die for that, or did he just fall over, Clive Lowe, because he's on his last legs? But nonetheless, it's a fantastic finish. And I tell you what, though, that's got the United players. They're back on the attack. Come on, Hippo. Come on, Hippo was right. We can beat this lot. Oh, come on, this is the spirit of United. Now, every time, though, we're informed, we see West Hampton attacking United, but Hippo's playing a blinder. He's everywhere. We see him crunching into 2 West Hampton players, clearing the ball. We see him heading right at the foot of a West Hampton forward. I mean, he nearly gets his head knocked off, but it's great performance from Hippo. Then we see that he's popped up in the West Hampton penalty box, and that's definitely a foul. Come on, ref, penalty. It's got to be. And the ref has given the penalty. Yes, Clive Lyle, he slotted it home. United are right back in this game, 3-2, 2 goals from Lyle. And I've got to say, what a performance so far from the young Hippo. And with 5 minutes later, United, it's an equaliser. I can't believe it. The ball swung in the back of the box. I can't quite make out who scored it. But yes, it's a fantastic goal there. Come on, United. And now the crowd, it's chants of United, and it's all United, 3-3. And there's just a minute to go. And it's Hippo. He's bursting through. We see Clive Lyle. Here, Hippo, let me have it. And after somebody else is go on, son, finish it. And Hippo, he's like, what should I do? Could I score myself? No, wow, Hippo, he's learned, he's passed it. Lyle, he's put it into an empty net. Hippo's drawn the goalkeeper, slid it to the side, and Clive Lyle has pushed it into the empty net. 4-3 to United.
Wow.
What a result. And we see the crowd, 4-3, real unselfish that youngster could have tried for the glory for himself. Brilliant from Hippo. And I can tell you, the final whistle's gone from 3-0 down against the league leaders with a makeshift team. Hippo stands up like a giant. And I tell you, Clive Lyle, though, showing his skill to secure this fantastic 4-3 victory. And we see the players now in the tunnel. And we say, everybody's Hippo saying, everybody scored except me. But yeah, but you'd won that game for a son. And as a special favour, I'm going to do something for you. Whoa, what was that? And what was that special favour, Tug? Well, Clive got all the players to promise not to call him Hippo again. Typical Tug. A hippo's a cumbersome creature, and he was anything but that. So that's nice of Tug Wilson then. So right, lads, we're back. We're transferred back to the modern day times, and it's Joe Pearson, and he's got the United lads, and he's saying, right, lads, let's get back out there. The rain's off, and yeah, I bet Mr. Pearson, and we're out there. So right, Tug, we're back to Ewan now, and he's all right, Tug. Here's where I show you another of my tricks. And Tug saying, okay, Ewan, take it away. And he said, what was that? You said Ewan, and then we just see Ewan is on the ground and Tug Wilson's got the ball and he's moved away with it. And well, it doesn't work every time. And the United players proceeded to give Ewan the treatment, very similar to what Hippo had. We see them smashing him onto the ground, and he's like, Ewan, he's up there for a header. I don't know if this is Tug. One of the players has just come up behind him and grabbed his shirt, just pulled him off. I tell you what, they're giving the rough treatment. But again, to give Ewan his due, he kept coming back. Here, Terry, let me have it. Hey, Hippo, don't even remind you. Don't Ewan remind you of someone. Hippo, you called Fred Rimmy Hippo, you mean? Yeah, Fred was the very guy. Maybe we should have got rid of him all those years ago. I mean, he's still a pain, only now it's all those flaming jokes of his. So there you go. Hippo was none other than Fred Rimmy.
Great story. Excellent
Wow.
story.
That's
Yeah,
superb.
it's massive credit to the writer Fred Baker, who created all of these characters in the very first episode, only to transfer them at the end of the very first episode. But he created them, and he's built more on them now in this summer.
Yeah,
In the
with these
past. People like Late
flashbacks
Night Lyle and Kevin Kane, and Ron Boston, who was just
yeah
mentioned in
in the 10
the history
yeah
in issue
Mm.
one. Yeah,
So
good stuff. Really enjoyed
I
that.
I am it is the end, but I do like to say, because obviously, and then at the end of the panel next week,
Oh,
Tug
sorry,
and
go on.
Fred
Yeah, go on.
relive a nightmare European Cup trip
Oh yeah.
behind the Iron Curtain. So we know that we've got more flashbacks the next one. But I have to admit, do you know what? When I was rereading this and I saw him come in, and again, clever from the artist, I actually thought initially it was Joe Pearson. Hippo was Joe Pearson, but then of course Joe Pearson's in the team, and I was like, oh. But yeah, sorry, that was literally Tug Wilson revealed the identity of Fred Rimmy in the last panel of that week's story. So it
I think
was
Joe joined
really
at
good.
about 1971, didn't he?
Yeah. I should have known it wasn't him, but you're trying to think. I think it was almost drawn. Actually, it was clever. I think they drew it so it did actually look like Joe Pearson to throw you as the reader
Ah,
off the
yes, yes.
scent.
Yeah, without the Fred
Yeah,
Ringy long hair.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
That,
tangent. Another superb story from the
yes,
annals of We Are
we are
United.
united.
Yeah, superb stuff. Brilliant. Okay, right. We're moving on to the last section in today's show, and we're back with Blackie Gray. Can you see that on the screen, guys?
Yep.
We're into the 70s. Yes,
Yay.
and there's a picture there of Blackie resplendent in it's the same top
Yes.
I'm actually wearing now, the one
Yeah.
designed by Barry Tomlinson, which they started wearing in the 1973-74 season. So this is in the 70s, and we join so this picture is from the 23rd of March 1974, but this particular story I'm going to take you through is a summer story, like I was saying earlier. So we know what kind of happens in the summer. All kind of crazy stuff happens. So it's the 25th of May 1974, and Melchester, they won the League Cup and FA Cup double in
Ooh,
73-74.
interesting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the first English team to do that. Do you
They
know?
were I should know, because in all fairness, I witnessed both finals as an Arsenal fan, and it was
Ah,
quite amazing because I think it was 93 and Arsenal
Yes, it
beat
was.
Sheffield Wednesday in both the League Cup and the FA Cup final.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was there for the League Cup final that
Oh,
year.
maybe you made.
I
Yeah,
I was
fantastic.
there
You're
for
both
the
there. You're both there then.
I was there for the League Cup final. Yes, I missed.
Yeah.
I've got to be careful what I say here, because I missed the FA Cup final on the Saturday. 'Cause I was at a hen do, but that's not for the podcast. and um, but Arsenal kindly made sure that was a draw so that I could attend Wembley for the replay on the Wednesday night.
And the
Ah,
captain did get dropped.
Yep.
I mean,
right.
physically dropped.
That's
Breaking.
right.
Yeah, that was in the League Cup final. No,
Yeah,
well, the
yeah.
captain dropped the goal
He
scorer.
dropped. He dropped Steve
Yeah.
Morrow,
Dropped
wasn't it,
Stephen Morrow. Yeah.
Anyway, back to this. But it's interesting. We could have had an episode 33 years ago, couldn't we?
Well,
You
we
two
could
guys could
indeed.
have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. So back to this story. So it's the summer of 74, and Roy and Blackie are on holiday in Spain. So we pick up the story, and they're under a parasol on the beach, and there's some kids are playing football and they go, oh, hey kids, look over there. Doesn't that fair-haired chap remind you of someone? And Roy's like, oh no, I think we've been recognised. And yet they spot it, and it's Roy Race. Oh, and it's Blackie Gray. Fancy a kick about Roy? And they go, no, no, sorry, senors, not speak English. What they're trying to do, Roy and Blackie. I think it's happened a few times. They're trying to get away from football totally in the summer.
We know what's going to happen, don't we, readers?
Wow, possibly. This could be the quick story. We know what's going to happen at the end of it, but let's go through it. I don't cover it every single week. I do fast forward a few of it. But anyway, so Roy and Blackie, they're running away. And there's Blackie there, and he's going, oh, I don't believe it. We come all the way to Spain just to get recognised by a gang of soccer-mad British fans. And Roy's, with our luck, Blackie, we'll probably run into a bunch of Manchester supporters next. And all of a sudden, they hear a rattle. And they're like, Ray, up the Rovers. And like, oh, my God, why did I open my big mouth? And it's not the fans. It's Penny and Sue, their girlfriends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they go, oh.
74.
Yeah.
Now,
So
surely Blackie would have been married to Sue by that time, or because Mark would have been.
Well, it's not get bogged down in things like sense and logic. Yes.
So they weren't to know how the future was going to pan out. So
no, they weren't. No,
sorry, carry on.
No. Good point, though. Good point, and we'll come back to that in the future when we get to the 90s. Roy goes, Penny, where the heck did you get that football rattle? I said, oh, we've just been buying a few gifts for our nephews and nieces. So anyway, they move away, and Black's going, absolutely no more football until the start of the season. And boys, yeah, and we mean it. Winning the 2 cups was very nice, but it was also extremely tiring. For the next few weeks, we don't even want to see another football. And then suddenly the fans spot them again and go, oh, there they are. And so Roy and Blackie run off again. But then as they're running along the street, suddenly this kind of lorry thing pulls up alongside them, and a guy in there goes, senor, you come for a trip into mountains. See, visit Festival of San Carlos. Very exciting, very cheap, and also very handy. All aboard, everyone. So Roy, Blackie, Penny, and Sue, they jump without thinking, just jump onto this lorry coach thing. They go, phew. Oh, thank God for that. So now they're quite comfortable now, and to their relief, the driver of the buggy doesn't appear to have recognised them either. So, and he carries on. You will like San Carlos, senors. It very famous festival. Lots of feasting and flamencos. Well, as long as there isn't a football match on, I'm chum. I don't care what they get up to. So Roy's sitting in the back and he's quite happy. But Penny's like going, oh, it's funny we didn't hear about the San Palos festival at the hotel, Roy. All the others were well advertised. Anyway, they're winding up the mountains on the road. I go, God, it must be some way up in the mountains somewhere. I can't see a sign of any town. I can't see any footballs either. And that's all that matters. But at that moment, suddenly they can see in the mountains, there's somebody with a pair of binoculars. What is this? Then move on to the next panel. And from the top of the mountain, from a cliff, you say, the trap is sprung, my friends. The British footballers are on their way. Then use the mirror, you fool. Tell Manuel that we are ready. And then you've got the driver there. He's driving the coach. And the driver, he spots a glint of light amidst the sun-bleached hills. And he goes, the signal. It is time, my passengers. We're really taken for a ride. And suddenly he puts his foot down and vroom. And they're like, whoa, what the? And suddenly they're spinning round and they're going round the roads right on the edge of the cliff. And they're going, whoa, boy, where on earth is he taking us? Straight to the bottom of that ravine if he isn't careful. He's gone crazy. We've got to stop him before he finishes off the lot of us. It's easy for me to say.
Yeah.
So anyway, I skip a few weeks. Now, suddenly we have a cover. And what's happened is, Blackie and Roy, they've actually been roped in to help the people of San Palos to win a football tournament, to enable them to gain admittance to a professional league. And now it's on the day before the final. They're on the beach, and Roy and Blackie are, they're doing a training session on the beach with using beach balls and a target, and they're aiming for the bullseye on this target. And then you've got Blackie, and he's doing some head tennis with them on the beach as well, with deck chairs as a kind of net. And anyway, they've put the San Palos team for their paces. Now they're having a bit of a break and a bit of a rest. And Penny and Sue coming out of the ocean in their bikinis. Calm down, lads, calm down. And then they're on their way back to the hotel, and they're in the car, and they look out and they go, and they're playing a thing called Camplona, not Pamplona, Camplona. Just that's sticking in your memory. And they can see Camplona on the other side of the bay, and they're going, "Oh, it's very nice over there. Lovely beaches, all the facilities." And yet, poor little San Palos, stuck up in the mountains, there has nothing. It doesn't seem fair, Roy. He goes, "Well, that won't make any difference to Senor Benitez, one of the Camplona councillors. I hear he runs the local sports stadium. Getting into the league will mean bigger crowds and more money. Let's worry about it tomorrow, Roy. Right now, I'm starving." So they get to the hotel, and the manager of the hotel says, No, senors, not the restaurant tonight. You dine in style beside the swimming pool." And they go beside the swimming pool, and they've got this massive, great big spread in front of them. And Roy's like, "Stone me, what a spread. But we can't afford anything like this." "You do not have to, senor. Everything is at my expense. Let me introduce myself. I am Juan Benitez." Wow, surprised. And it doesn't say whether he's related to Rafa.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But it's Juan Benitez. He's the counselor. He goes, "It is my way of paying homage to one of the world's greatest footballers, Senor Race, and to give you a word of advice. San Palos is already doomed, so why risk injuring yourself with such a puny outfit in our silly little tournament? You are here to enjoy yourselves after all. So what can you say, senor? Can we not forget about San Palos?" And he lifts up a tray, which, you thought there was food under, but what you can actually see there is that it's just a pile of cash. So he's clearly trying to bribe them.
Wow.
He goes, "Gosh," Blackie says, "look at all that money. He's trying to bribe us, Roy." Of course,
He's
Roy
quick,
and Blackie.
Blackie.
Yeah, he's quite quick, yeah. But they're not standing for that, very stand up
Yeah, exactly.
people.
Yeah, exactly.
So they pick him up and they go, "I guess you'd like our answer right away, hey, councillor. What are you doing?" And they pick him up and they throw him in the swimming pool. And, well, this isn't going to help things, is it? Roy goes, "Now don't try that again, or we'll give Camplona an even bigger thrashing tomorrow. You'll find your rotten money waiting at the hotel desk." So anyway, Benitez comes out and he's dripping wet, and he's talking to a couple of his accomplices there by the side of a car, and they say to him, "Hey, did it not work, Senor Benitez?" "Of course it didn't, you fools. Do you think I'm in the habit of swimming with my clothes on? We will have to resort to our original plan. Tonight at the festival, Race and Gray must not be allowed to play against Camplona." And so now you go to a festival, and you can see the lights are coming on. It's getting dark, and all these kind of characters are coming out, and they've got big face masks and ole, and there's music, and it's like a whole procession. And we're saying the whole town seems to be living it up.
It's really scary faces, I tell you, as well. Yeah,
It's a bit like the Wicker Man. I don't know if you've seen the Wicker Man, but
Yeah,
it seems like
yeah.
scenes of that. Yeah.
I'm thinking more of some of the toy makers' creations from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
They'll attack you
I'm
anymore.
getting flashbacks to the James Bond movie. Was it Live and Let Die?
Yes,
Oh
it
yeah.
was.
It's very, very dark
But-
and scary, and
Yeah.
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 And so a couple of the characters are talking to each other, and they go, "Here they come, Paco. You take Race, and I will deal with Gray, and no mistakes." So maybe is this the summer of '74? Was Paco Diaz? Do you think that could have been
Do you know
Paco
what?
Diaz?
I'm so pleased you said that. I was like,
5
Paco
years?
Diaz is involved in this.
Who knew? You don't see a picture. You don't see a picture of him.
I was really thinking that as well. That's brilliant.
Anyway, and the other one says, "Don't worry, he. In all this commotion, who is going to miss a couple of English tourists?" So anyway, the carnival carries on, and next week you can see they're marching through the town, and Roy and Blackie are there, and these couple of characters, and one of them, which is clearly Paco Diaz now, we know it definitely was Paco Diaz. They have a couple of heads to put on Roy and Blackie, but these are heads of bulls, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?" There's look, They are the ones. The Malatilas have been chosen. And they go, Roy and Blackie are going, huh? What are they yelling about? What's happening? And then they soon find out because suddenly you flash to the middle of the road. Roy and Blackie are in the middle of the road and there are loads of bulls running towards them. And the crowd's going, the bulls are coming.
Oh, the
Oh
balls of
no,
Pamplona.
the bulls are the famous running of the bulls in
Balls of
Pamplona.
Pamplona.
And Roy goes, Blackie, I've just remembered what Malatilla means. It's someone who gets volunteered to get chased by fighting bulls at carnivals. And Blackie goes, but we haven't volunteered, Roy. I know, but the bulls don't know that. Let's get out of here. Whoa! So anyway, they managed to escape. They're actually drugged, and then they're incarcerated in the castle. So the story story moves on.
Thankfully.
I tell you
Thankfully,
what,
yeah.
back in the day, old Roy and Blackie used to get in some scrapes,
Oh,
I
no.
tell you.
The famous Roy Race and his sidekick Blackie.
Yes. I mean, people think the Spandau Ballet was crazy, but I mean, if you know,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
So anyway, you've got Sam Palos there. They're waiting for the game to start. And obviously Roy and Blackie aren't there. They're scratching their heads. Penny's there, and Penny's saying, your only chance is to try and hold out until Roy and Blackie get here, Felipe. I'll help you all I can. But you are only a girl, Senorita Penny.
Oh,
What do you know about football? And then you see probably the most indignant
yeah.
face ever in where you see Penny's face there. Well, she bristled indignantly. More than you think, young man. I haven't watched the best team in the world for most of my life without learning something. So let's get weaving. So she coaches the San Palos team,
Excellent.
and they keep moving the ball around. So you are how maybe Pep Guardiola was in the crowd that day watching San Palos play against Pamplona. Who knows? But anyway, Penny was, pure possession football. Senor Benitez is there and he's watching the game and he's getting frustrated. They're making fools of you, Pamplona. Over 15 minutes gone and you still haven't scored. If Race and Gray make an appearance, these young upstarts from San Palos could still spring a surprise. But one of the henchmen there, he said, do not worry, Excellencio. The English footballers are beyond all help. They cannot possibly escape. So then you flash to Roy and Blackie, who are at this moment in this castle. And they're trying to get out of this kind of jail in this tower. And he manages to get rid of the bars. Roy managed to get one of the bars off the window. And he looks down and he sees as a 500 feet drop to the floor of a canyon. And so how are they going to get out? Well, they managed by using some belts and some ripped up jeans. They managed to make a lifeline. Roy then managed to shimmy up to the top of the tower, inch by inch. And then he gets to the top and then he manages to pull Blackie up as well. So they managed to escape from the castle and they go, phew, we've made it. Now for Pamplona. Don't start cheering yet. At rough guess, I'd say we've still got a 5-mile hike down to the coast. So what are they going to do? Well, they spot a couple of mules outside and they manage to give the mule owner some money and they jump on the mules and they race off. And I mean, they've worked out it's now gone 3:30. So the game's already started. So they've got to get there for maybe they'll make it to half time. Let's have a look. Let's see what happens. So Blackie was right. The game's actually already started, and we get to the game just as San Palos have let in a goal. Pamplona score 1-0 to Pamplona, and you see Senor Benitez. He's got the champagne out already, and he's making a toast to the fans. Going, ole! It is only the beginning, my friends. Now that Pamplona have scored, the floodgates will open. And then suddenly it's half time. And then, but all suddenly they spot something. The crowd, they go, I won't be too sure, Excellencio. Look, coming into the stadium. Oh no, it's Roy Race and Blackie Gray. And sure enough, on a couple of mules, you see Roy and Blackie have made it in half time, but they're absolutely knackered. They're falling all over. Sorry, go on, Tam.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but I've got to say, I mean, seeing Blackie and Roy here, sorry to refer to my own, but they are there. The way they're looking there, they're looking like a knackered Clive Lyle, looking like the fittest man in the world, to be quite honest.
They are. And bearing in mind, they started at 4:30 free to get here, and they're
Yeah.
there in half time. They've got 5 miles. I mean, I don't know how long it takes for a mule to run 5 miles. If
5 miles.
one of the
No.
listeners want to tell us what the world record for mules running, that would be really interesting. Anyway, so Roy and Blackie, they're on the back of the mules. They're absolutely exhausted. They're leaning over. Penny and Sue have got an idea though. So they go up to Senor Benitez and they take out the champagne which he's been drinking, celebrating Camplona's, imminent win.
Right.
And they go, I have a feeling that you are the cause of this, Senor Benitez, so you can help us. You can keep the champagne. We only want the ice water. So they get the ice water buckets and they throw them over Roy and Blackie. And that wakes them up. And it's like, that was cold. Questions later, Roy. We've got your gill ready for you. You can get changed in that hut. So Blackie and Roy, they're on the pitch, and the San Palos team, they go, look, Felipe, Roy and Blackie have recovered. They want to come on as substitutes. Now we will show Camplona. So of course they come on, and Roy's, let's go, Blackie. We've got to make an impact on this game before you flake out again. So they quickly pass the ball, and it's a 1-2, and Roy slots it in. It's there.
Yes.
1-1. And Magnifico, Senor Roy, you and Blackie win the game by yourselves. You do not need us. That's just what we want Camplona to think, Felipe. So maybe we can surprise them. So moments after restart, Roy and Blackie are off again. Benitez is going mental on the side. Stop them, Camplona. Ignore the others. Just get the English men. But yeah. Blackie or Roy, I think it's Roy and Blackie. They're swamped now by the Camplona players, but they spot Felipe and they pass the ball over to Felipe and he scores. They take the lead. San Palos take the lead. It's 2-1. It's done. It's there. And after that, Camplona just fall apart, and the youngsters of San Palos don't need any help from Roy and Blackie. And there's another goal straight away from there. And it's, hey, Senor Roy, we have done it. But Roy and Blackie can't hear a thing because they're collapsed on the floor. They're falling asleep. And they go, they cannot hear us, amigos. That final effort was a little too much. Roy and Blackie fall asleep. By the time the pals woke up again, you got Penny there and you're going, oh, what's happened? Who put the lights out? No one, Roy. It's nighttime. But where the heck are we? And they're in San Palos. The villagers are just about to start a big festival to celebrate their acceptance into the league. They want you two to be the guests of honor. And so the final panel, you have the crowd there going, Viva Blackie, Viva Senor Roy. And Roy's going, yikes, what a holiday. I'll be glad to get back to Melchester, Blackie. And Blackie's there, same here, chum. After all this, a full season of hard, all-out football is going to seem like a picnic. And that was the end of the summer of 1974.
It's really great to have Penny Lane getting into some action. Penny Lane, as she was then, of course, into some coaching action. You know, and I think Sue must have had a good part of it as well, because I think that she wrote about this later. Did you know about that? The Sue Gray report?
Very good. Oh, very good. Oh, another bit of politics. Always a bit of politics there from Ian Golden.
He can't help himself. If he's not kinnacking about, he's on the Sue Gray report.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah, so that's it. So so more to come from the Blackie Guy story next time.
Do you know what? I love that, and I must admit, this is how sad I am. I'm trying to look, and I'm at the moment at Wikipedia, but I'm really like. I mean, I wonder what if research. It's just I wonder how true that is, that there would be a knockout tournament for teams to become professional and join the Spanish league. I'm sure if I'd have been a young boy reading that, I wouldn't have just enjoyed the story. But now I'm like, I wonder if that really was what happened. I want to
San
research
Palos,
that.
when they join the professional league?
Yeah.
Rafa Benitez, how many relatives in San Palos or Camplona?
That's a great little story. It's so interesting to see how, and I think United borrowed from that. But I do think for the football stories, it's always difficult, isn't it? That non-season period to find the content. So, but yeah, I love that.
Yeah, well, because Manchester did that every year, didn't they? They either had a summer tour of somewhere, or Roy went somewhere. yeah, or they got blown up. But you know that's
Yeah,
another story
yeah.
entirely. But yes, yeah, as you say, there was always something that, and Roy of the Rovers, every strip had to find that as well, didn't they? Not just the main Roy of the Rovers strip.
No, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tommy
exactly.
exactly.
Troubles
Yeah.
had to find a summer tournament.
Mm,
Billy Dane had to
mm,
find a summer
yeah.
tournament at Holiday Camp to get
Mm,
involved in,
mm,
and Hotshot Hamish would get
mm,
involved somewhere along the line. But yeah, you're
yeah.
right.
Yeah, and it's great to see Yvonne Hutton's artwork as well, because obviously we've moved on into
Oh,
the 70s,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
can start to see Roy's hair become a little bit longer as well, just a bit.
Hmm.
And obviously that'll develop as the years go on. So that's it, guys. That's the
no,
show.
brilliant.
So yeah, so we'll be back again in another couple of weeks. We are, when I say we, I'm looking at the tangential one because we are
I,
due to
yeah.
interview Barry
Oh,
Mitchell
don't
shortly.
red button special.
It may be a couple of weeks time, so there might be a red button special coming out
Yep.
in the interim. We're not quite sure, but we're very excited and we're looking forward to that. But yeah, like final thoughts then. So I'll go around. Let's start with the time traveler himself. He gave us details of his fantastic book to come. Ian, final thoughts from yourself?
Oh, well, thanks very much as usual for having me on here. It's a great part of my life now. I really enjoy doing the podcast, and yeah, I just love my writing. It's a hobby, it's a job, but it's also a hobby, and it's great to talk about it here. And I'll enjoy putting it on the Facebook sites and see what kind of reaction I get soon. But as for this podcast, I've really enjoyed it. Enjoyed listening to both of your pieces, guys. So well done. Thanks very much.
Good stuff, good stuff. And tangential?
No, cheers, Ian. Oh, yeah, it's really interesting to see. I've got to take my hat off to Ian, all that reading that he's managing to do and to the fantastic reviews and then get a book. It's really interesting to see what you're doing there, Ian. Thoroughly enjoyed another flashback from the We Are United verse. And of course, I love a Blackie Gray story. I can't get enough of the life of Blackie Gray. So, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Another one. Good stuff.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, well, that's it. That's episode 128 of the British Football Comic Podcast. Hopefully, the other guys will be back. Maybe Brinsden, Bygone Berrigan will be back with a Kit Kat for the rest of the team, and
Yeah.
hopefully,
Well, you think he won't have eaten them?
If he comes up with Kit Kats next time, you know something's up, don't you?
exactly. Yeah.
Normally it would be Cock Kit or something
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Aldi. So if
From
it comes
Aldi,
up
exactly.
yeah,
with Kit
exactly.
Kats
Yeah,
next time,
Yeah, it won't be a Kit Kat, will he? You won't get them on the Aldi anything special shelf.
yeah.
and hopefully the Podfather will be back as well with his
Yes.
dulcet tones. But until then, guys, hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you all very soon. Good
Brilliant.
night.
Cheers.